Welcome to the Fasting Podcast. Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional for 2 decades. In the weekly episodes, which are usually 10 to 15 minutes, you'll discover simplified approaches, little-known facts, insights from the wellness coach perspective, valuable tips, and amazing wellness tools and technologies. And now, on to the show. This is episode 22, Candida and Fasting. Candida is yeast overgrowth, and we all have some yeast in our bodies, which is absolutely fine and beneficial, but it's when they get out of control and overgrow that becomes the problem. Candida, yeast overgrowth, there are different strains of it, but the most common one is called Candida albicans. It really can make you slow down in your results when you're trying to fast to lose weight. And it can be very difficult with plateaus and getting the results that you want. So what are some of the clues? Maybe craving carbs or sugar, low energy, a whitish or grayish coating on the tongue, especially in the morning, foggy thinking. Does your belly stick out after a carby meal, kind of like a pregnant look? Any nail fungus on the toes or fingers? Itching when you have no reason to be itching, stubborn weight loss, chronic sinus and allergy issues, weak immune system, urinary infections, the list goes on and on. Possible reasons. When did you last take antibiotics, if ever? Because those kill your bad bacteria and the friendly flora that can help keep the yeast under control. Did you replenish the flora after you had antibiotics? Do or did you take birth controls that also kill the friendly flora? And many of the medications can do that, by the way, different types. Have you ever had chemo or radiation, which could be one of the reasons? Do you have a weakened immune system? Do you get sick a lot? Do you consume large amounts of carbs or sugar? Do you chew really well? And do you keep fats or liquids out of your mouth when you're chewing carbs, because those might interfere? And do you take digestive enzymes or probiotics or fermented foods? So we're trying to find out for you, what are some of the possible reasons or contributing factors? Before we talk about taking action, let's talk about a fun, informal saliva test. If you take a clear glass full of water, put it by your bed on the nightstand, eat carby food before going to bed, and don't brush your teeth. So it's kind of like setting some cheese in a mousetrap. Upon awakening, grab the glass before you get out of bed and put all that stagnant saliva into the glass. Just dump it in, and it can help to stick your tongue out. And as you pull it back in, scrape it across the teeth so that the junk sitting on top of your tongue goes into the glass. I would watch it for 5 minutes and even come back 30 minutes later, set a timer. And if you see stringers coming down or saliva sinking or disappearing, it may not be a good sign. What's the good news would be if you see it still sitting the same way on the top of the glass, the same way it looked like when you first put it there. It's very motivating if you do see things, because you say, oh my goodness, if they were so desperate that they didn't have enough poorly digested carbs down in my intestines while I was sleeping, if they climbed up the intestinal tract to go see what they could find on the mouth, that must be way too many. But if you don't see anything there, that's not conclusive that you don't have a problem. So if you take action to purge Candida, I would definitely try this again when you're done and make sure you do it long enough. So many people with the problem have it and they don't realize it, according to naturopaths I've worked with, and it doesn't hurt to take action. In fact, it can help other things. For example, when you take the enzymes, the strong enzymes, the systemic ones that we'll talk about in a couple minutes, on an empty stomach, it actually can help eat up the coatings that cancer cells are hiding in, that parasites are hiding, and it can eat up poorly digested food floating around the system, making us have an acidic pH. There's so many beneficial things to taking enzymes on an empty stomach and adding more friendly flora to the mix. In my early stages of training 2 decades ago, an expert on probiotics said that if you were super healthy, you would have 3 to 5 pounds of friendly flora, and a single capsule has billions of organisms. So the concept is get plenty of them in there, let them reproduce, quit doing things that kill them, like too much sugar, too much stress, all kinds of medications, and then let them thrive with prebiotics or the kind of things that help them to survive. So in other words, I would definitely do my best to see if I can eradicate any possible overgrowth. So now let's talk about some action plan. What about taking some actions, because we want to get our fasting results quicker and better? Let's see some things we can do. An easy thing is chewing your food 25 to 40 bites, keeping liquids away from the meals. I drink liquids 20 to 30 minutes before a meal, and I wait at least an hour or maybe two after a meal so I don't dilute my digestive juices. I keep the carbs and sugar low most of the time, and if taking carbs and sugars, it's really best to not have liquids or fats in the mouth at the same time, and definitely with your food and drink, keep it organic and all natural. Plentiful pure water away from the meals like we talked about, so episode 3 through 6 cover that well. Open the channels of elimination so that the toxins with the Candida can come out of the body. Episode 17 covers some of that. We don't want you releasing a lot of toxins and having them cooped in there, making you sick. Enzymes on an empty stomach are very important, and many professionals don't even know that. The Candida are becoming so determined to survive that they are now hiding in what is believed to be multiple coatings. For example, on the outside coating, they could be hiding in a protein coating, like a lot of parasites or cancer cells could be hiding. And then on the middle layer, it could be hiding with a layer of chitin, C-H-I-T-I-N, and then on the inside layer, cellulose. So if you take enzymes like the protease for protein and the chitinase for chitin and the cellulase for cellulose, those now can help eat up. You have to take those on an empty stomach if you expect them to eat up the coatings they're hiding in, exposing them to the immune system, any probiotics you might have in the body or are taking, and any herbs that you're taking. So the coating is a key thing. So when you're looking for solutions, it's very important to take the enzymes away from meals, like when you're going to bed, when you wake up, maybe 3 o'clock. But it's also very valuable not to contribute to the problem. So taking digestive enzymes with the meals, right before the meals, and we have our favorite. You can watch lifeboatdoctors.com to learn about our favorite. You want heavy enzymes with a high amount on the empty stomach. They call it systemic. So that's a key result. So when you're looking for solutions from your naturopath or health food store or online, look for that as well as probiotics in the solution. So we need plentiful probiotics. A variety is really good from different vendors, different strains. Fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut. There's so many things you can do, but we need a lot of probiotics in our body, because poor probiotics level and poor carb digestion are actually the two key reasons why we get overrun to begin with. So let's not just get rid of Candida problem. Let's actually not cause it to happen again by keeping great carb digestion and plentiful probiotics to keep the good guys, keeping the bad guys under control. Now, if you deal with the coatings they're hiding in, there's so many different things you can do with herbs and oils, caprylic acid, oregano, clove, milk, thistle to help the liver. And I actually there will be a future episode on parasites, but the company that to me is far superior to any of the other ones I've tested, they actually have some formulas that work fabulous with Candida. And there are special formulas for 3 to 6 weeks or longer, something called Morinda with 1 capsule 4 times a day, Golden Thread 1 capsule 4 times a day, Melia 1 capsule 4 times a day, Scutellaria 1 capsule 4 times a day, and then the biofilms number 1 and 2, because the biofilm is causing them to help survive and causing problems in the body. Coconut oil is known to be very good for Candida, and you can actually swish it in your mouth. That's a real good one that most people don't know about. So keep monitoring and consider your intimate partner. So if you have a spouse or a significant other, realize that Candida yeast overgrowth can pass from one to the other through body fluids, whether it's saliva or otherwise. So do it together. and work toward prevention with good carb digestion, probiotics, and low net carbs. We did do an episode on the keto craze, and we talked about in there how to keep the low net carbs and how to avoid higher carb stuff from sneaking in without you knowing it. That concludes our episode, Possible Next Steps. Watch our next episode, refer others, check out our website, www.thefastingpodcastwow.com, and watch the 28-minute video, www.lifeboatdoctors.com. Podcasters, if you like our episodes, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Podcoin. YouTubers, we hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Remember, stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, energy flows. Thank you.